High in the Indian Himalayas, at 5,000 meters above sea level, there's a lake. It's small, frozen most of the year, quiet, but when the ice melts, something appears. Hundreds of human skeletons. Some were discovered in 1942, but they had been there for over 1,000 years, and more keep emerging. No weapons, no ruins, no graves, just shattered skulls surrounding the water. Who were they? Why were they here? And what killed them all at once? What you're about to hear is not a legend. It's a mass death that still has no explanation. It's a message frozen in time. And maybe that message was meant to be uncovered now, not before. Roopkund is a glacial lake tucked deep within the Indian Himalayas. It lies on a remote trekking route, surrounded by steep cliffs and snow for most of the year. In 1942, a British forest ranger stumbled upon something horrifying: bones. Hundreds of them, scattered around the melting shoreline. Skeletal remains of men, women, even children. Some lay face down. Others still held remnants of leather, wooden artifacts, and jewelry. But there was no sign of a village, no evidence of war, no obvious cause of death. Over time, as more ice melted, more remains appeared, and with them more questions. Local legends spoke of a cursed pilgrimage, a royal procession that defied the gods, and a divine punishment that fell from the sky. But in a world of science, was that even possible? Why would such a tragedy remain unknown for over 1,000 years? And what else was buried beneath the snow? What were they looking for, or what were they trying to escape? By the 1960s, archaeologists began limited studies of the site. But conditions were brutal. Avalanches, altitude sickness, and unpredictable weather halted most expeditions. Still, analysis confirmed a disturbing fact. The skeletons were not from a single event. Some dated to the 9th century, others to the 19th. Yet they all showed similar trauma. Most had circular fractures on their skulls, no defensive wounds, no blade marks, no arrowheads, as if something struck them from above. A 2004 expedition, led by Indian and European scientists, conducted DNA testing. Results revealed the dead came from at least two distinct groups. A local population from South Asia, a genetically distinct group resembling people from the Eastern Mediterranean. Why were people from thousands of kilometers away traveling through this deadly pass? Why did they all stop here at this lake to die? No written record, no survivor counts, just silence and bone. And that silence is louder than any evidence. When forensic specialists studied the skull damage, they ruled out warfare, landslides, or disease. Instead, they found something specific. The fractures matched high-velocity impact from small round objects. One theory emerged, unbelievable at first, that they had been killed by hailstones, not ordinary hail. Massive, solid ice, falling with lethal force. The story echoed the local legend, the wrath of a goddess who hurled death from the sky. But could hail really kill hundreds of people? Could it happen so suddenly that no one escaped? Could lightning and ice explain why no one fled? And why would Mediterranean travelers, likely pilgrims, be in that remote location at all? What were they doing there? Seeking what? The timeline was fractured. So were the bodies. Science had found a mechanism, but not a motive. And legends, however impossible, refused to vanish. Because sometimes legends survive because they're true. The more the lake revealed, the stranger the mystery became. Why did the groups come centuries apart and die the same way? Why were no shelters or camp remains ever found? And why do local traditions still warn against staying too long at Roopkund? Some researchers noted the layout of the skeletons, not scattered randomly, but clustered in ways that suggest sudden collapse. Others have pointed to acoustic anomalies in the region, sounds that echo without source, and wind patterns that shift abruptly. There are whispers of ritual sites nearby, now erased from maps, ancient routes, forgotten stone markings, and unnatural magnetic readings. And then there's the silence from authorities. Despite the global attention, funding for further exploration has quietly stalled, as if the mystery is no longer just ancient, but inconvenient. Could there be something near the lake that modern institutions do not want uncovered? Could Roopkund be more than a site of tragedy, but a marker? A forbidden zone with layers still hidden beneath the ice? And maybe someone still watches it. We are told the world is mapped, that its past is understood. But in a frozen crater, 800 lives ended and no one can say why. Was it a cursed pilgrimage? A freak weather event? A forgotten ritual? Or something older that left no name, no witnesses, only remains? Some believe Roopkund was a testing ground. Others say it was a passage where those who entered never returned. What we know is this: they came, they died, and they left behind only bones. Bones and a silence that refuses to melt. And perhaps Roopkund is not alone. Perhaps there are more lakes like this, more stories buried beneath snow, more warnings we haven't yet unearthed. Because sometimes what's frozen is waiting to be seen, waiting to be understood, waiting to happen again. And maybe, just maybe, it already has.